The following is a podcast from a qualified senior care provider heard on the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome everyone to Answers for Elders radio, heard across the USA in so many cities. And in each and every one of our cities, we sit back and we think about what we have been through. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you that are listening today. And I am going to start off today with our show with a personal story. And for each of us, I think we all went through the pandemic and had different experiences. I know some of our seniors got better grasp of technology. Some of us learned to work remotely. Some of us learned to connect more, better in communication with our families. We learned new technology. And one of the things that I think for me is I really came back to basics, because my story and my revelation of the pandemic was my dog. And my dog Whidbey was absolutely, she's always been, for the last now 10 years, I always call her my soulmate dog. She is so connected to me. So, no matter what we do. And so the days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks that went by, I would sit with her and she kept me sane. I had this companion by my side. And during the pandemic with Answers for Elders, one of the things that happened was that we started getting phone calls. Phone calls came in from families that were worried about their senior loved ones, who were isolated even more so. They weren't going to the grocery store. They were filled with fear. They were filled with fear of, how do I keep things going? How do I, help my loved ones? And yet they were isolated and alone. And knowing how my brain works, I thought, how in the world could I help? And coincidentally, because I'm so dialed into dogs, I manage a group on Facebook, which is called Washington Doodle Owners. And we have I think right now, about 9,000 people in this Facebook group. And I just put out a post one day and I said, I know that therapy dogs are amazing. And I'm just wondering, would anybody be interested in seeing how we could get trained during this time, all being COVID, friendly, and making sure that we were safe? Maybe we could train outside and train a group of us to start going and bringing our dogs in to visit seniors. And I didn't even know how this was going to happen or what would happen. But in 2020, I actually founded an organization called Washington Therapy Doodles at the time, which now you're going to learn that it's now Washington Therapy Dogs, because I have teamed up with this amazing coach, entrepreneur, and friend, which I will call a lady by the name of Marlena Velasco Barker. And Marlena, welcome to Answers for Elders. And thank you first and foremost for being a part of Washington Therapy Dogs and kind of taking over the reins at this point. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You have a background in coaching. You have a background in, all kinds of health and wellness type programs and things like this. But you got into this world of therapy dogs. Tell us a little bit about how that transition happened, and tell us about you and your experience with being a therapy dog team.
Absolutely. Well, my mother got really sick about 2 months before the lockdowns in the early part of 2020. And, I was so fortunate, and, I feel like I was blessed to be able to have the privilege of taking care of my mom. So my husband and I moved to Wapato, Washington. I don't know if anybody knows where that is. It's in the
middle. Of course I do.
It's in the middle
but
of nowhere.
But I bet a lot of people don't.
Yeah, so it's in the middle of nowhere. It's a very remote town near Yakima, in the Yakima Valley. So long story short, we took care of mom. And when I came back to Seattle after she passed away in 2021, I thought, you know what? I get to have a new life. I get a new lease on life. And so we get this text message with a dog, a picture of a bunch of puppies, and in
Mhm.
comes Malia, the golden doodle. And
Mhm.
about 6 months in, Suzanne, I reached out to you. I said, okay, I've got a 6-month-old puppy, and we've been trying to figure out why in the world God gave us a puppy, and here's this puppy. And so I saw several of your posts with the visits, and I thought, therapy dog, wow, that's what we're meant to do.
That's where we're going. Yeah. And here's the thing that's so amazing. I took this grassroots, loosely unorganized scenario because here I worked Answers for Elders, right? I did the best I could, but I did not have the bandwidth to put together a organization. And I kind of handed you the bits and pieces of an organization and a mission. And our mission, what I learned about getting to know you is you and I are so aligned in our beliefs, our the dignity and the preservation of our seniors and how we can, be there in the community. And we're both very community oriented individuals. So, first of all, before we get into the big news, which we're going to make an announcement of us aligning with an organization, what is the mission that you have now with Washington Therapy Dogs?
Well, I love catchphrases because they stick, right? And you put them on flyers and T-shirts and banners. And so I've just held on to the one that you put out there 2 years ago, Suzanne. We spread joy, comfort, support, and unconditional doggy love. And that's to everyone and anyone who is vulnerable, and it's been not just a mission for me, but it's really now become this passion project, I call it. And it's really fun. Now, don't get me wrong, for those of you that have started something from grassroots level, ground up, from the starting point of anything, when you launch, there's a lot of hiccups along the
Yes,
way.
there are.
And
Absolutely.
we're being humble here, but there's been a lot of details. I'm learning a lot about canine behavior and what trainers and the culture are like. All of these things I've learned sort of fast track.
And you have done some amazing things. And, Washington Therapy Dogs is an organization, but it certainly doesn't register animals. It doesn't carry, quote unquote, the insurance that is needed. And so, Marlena, you have started this partnership with an amazing organization. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, I love how you started with we weren't really formalized, and we weren't really registered anywhere in terms of business registration, incorporation, nonprofit, 501c3.
We were
none
just
of those
an
things.
outreach of Answers for Elders. That's all we were.
Outreach program. Again, I love the term grassroots, right? And so I tell people kind of jokingly, it was a Facebook group. It was a group that was born from a Facebook group, because I was a part of the Facebook group. That's where I found out about it. So I has started researching opportunities to not only become official ourselves, that's myself and Malia, but I really started delving really deep into the people that are the experts in this field of what they call animal assisted intervention, AAI. And so as I started doing my research from about December and I mean through today, this morning, I've been researching every day. I'm finding that there are some extremely loosey-goosey is a fun term that I like to use. And then there's other people that are in this space, this AAI space, that are extremely rigid, formal. They've done all the research. They've done their homework, as it were. And so I spotted one by way of a recommendation from a local therapy dog expert who goes into hospitals that are here in our region, Virginia Mason, UW, etc. So Pet Partners is who we've aligned with because of their rigorous testing standards. And we're so excited.
Yes, we're going to be talking a lot about Pet Partners. And Marlena, in the meantime, we've got about 20 seconds left. How do people reach out to you to learn more information?
I would say go ahead and log into our website, which is WA, stands for Washington Therapy Dogs, and .com, and we will lead you through and guide you through the process by collaborating with us. There's several links that you can just click there and put your information in, and I'll reach out to you.
Fabulous. And Marlena, everyone, and we will be right back. We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.